Hey guys, Basil and Will from Grayson Hobby, and today we have a receiver from Jumper, the R8, which is really designed for airplanes.
Yep, so Jumper's released a receiver that works for planes.
For planes.
Not just quads. So guys, everybody keeps asking, does the Jumper work for planes? Yes, just like everything else with opentx.
Right. So if you have a Jumper radio and you will have flying airplanes and you're unfamiliar with opentx or how to hook up your servos to a receiver, then this video is for you.
And guys, this tutorial will also work if you were running Jumper TX still on your T16, if you have the original releases. Jumper TX will work the same way. opentx, and if you have a QX7 like a FreeSky radio, the opentx, same exact setup. Right. So this receiver works for those as well.
So if you want to see an in-depth review of this receiver and how to set up an airplane, then stay tuned.
Guys, so if you're needing parts, switches, plates, all that accessories and all that for the Jumper T16 radio.
Or the Jumper radio.
Or the Jumper radio itself. If anything Jumper related that we carry, go to graysonhobby.com/Jumper. And everything should be there.
Yes.
Alright, so this is the Jumper R8 receiver. This is a D16 receiver from Jumper. So now they have their own line. You guys have seen the R1 that we did prior, little video on for drones. Well, guess what guys? Not everybody flies drones. There's people with planes too.
No way.
Jumper knows that. However, this is a multi-purpose receiver. It actually has, if we look over here at the little chart, it has PWM output for servos. So PWM is for standard servos that would use, you know, like your normal plug, okay? That's got the signal, positive, ground. And then over here is an extra set of pins. So there's actually 4 wide. You have ground, voltage, and SBUS if you're gonna run it on a drone or anything like that. Or a lot of these newer flight gyros out there have SBUS input, so you can run really fancy gyro systems without having to have a bunch of wires going between the receiver and the gyro.
Talking about, or like the with the stability mode,
like a 6-axis gyro with panic fail. You guys are running PixTalk. Hopefully you already know that, but that's just telemetry pins, receiver signal strength, power, and ground. We're not going to go over that part because we don't do anything PixTalk. Yeah. So if you guys have PixTalk, make a video.
So this is 8 channel, right?
This is 8 channels.
This is pretty cool.
It's actually a 16 channel receiver.
Okay.
16 channels is only if you run SBUS. So if you're making the receiver work like this guy right here, it's SBUS. If you're gonna run it
traditionally,
as PWM with a traditional plane, it's 8 channels.
Okay. So that's more than enough because you have your 4, then you have your flaps, retracts.
For the price of this receiver, I'm more than happy because it's less than half of the other guy's 6 channel.
Yeah.
So that's actually less than half the other guy's 4 channel.
Yeah. I find it pretty cool. It's a bidirectional or 2-way telemetry.
Yeah, but the telemetry, okay, so this does throw telemetry back to your transmitter with RSSI signal strength. Yep. And analog or digitally, so you don't have to worry about anything. It's just set up an RSSI. You can have it give you alerts and all that. That's all in the Jumper.
Which I can never figure out on these guys how to do that.
Yeah, so this is going to give you receiver signal strength telemetry on it, just being hooked up.
Yeah, so that's really all you need for just regular park flying airplane.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Okay.
Since we got to weigh it, right? Let's see. The other guy is 8.3. Let's see what this guy is with these antennas. 8.4. So realistically, guys, it's going in a plane. It doesn't matter that much. But now you know the weight for those of you that want to do it.
Let's put them up side by side and see if they are. What's the size difference?
Very similar in size.
Okay. Yep.
They're saying this is 23.7 wide, 35.8 long, 8.94 here. The actual tallest part is 12.6 millimeters.
Big question we get all the time is, how do I use it with one of these guys?
Okay, and this is actually where we're all going to learn something today, because up until about an hour ago, I have actually not set up any planes with opentx. I've done almost all drones, but Basil actually showed me earlier how to do it.
Oh, so pretty. Tree. Basil.
So here is my little breadboard, I call it. It's just basically, this is how I do all my setups and all my testing, airplanes and all that stuff. Just we have 4 servos represents each control surface, and the 4th one here represents my throttle, so I don't need to have my hands cut off if things gonna go according to plan. And for this one, we're gonna show everybody just how to use flaps on
flaps or auxiliary channel.
Sorry, retracts.
All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this guy wired up. I'm gonna use a BEC because I don't have a speed control here, but typically a speed control would have it. If you're running a nitro gas plant or whatever that has its own power source, you'd run that as well. Yeah. But basically you need 5 volts. Now this receiver will take, while we're talking about, 3.5 to 8.4 volts input. So you can't run a 3-cell straight into it, but you can run, technically you'd run a 2-cell into it, but guys, keep in mind your servos typically don't go over 5 volts unless you get high voltage servos. So it's best just to run a BEC.
Or a regular ESC would work in there.
Yeah, speed control has a BEC. Yeah. If it has BEC, 5-volt output.
All right.
So I'm just gonna put this into any old channel here.
Now remember, it has 4 pins.
Yes.
Now you have to keep it on the front pin.
So actually, let me put it a couple behind so you guys can kind of see. So the first pin is signal. The second pin is 5-volt, and the third pin is ground. Because this doesn't have a signal on its BEC, we're gonna put it in 5-volt and ground, and that's the second and third pin in from this side.
Okay.
All right, so we got that here. I'm gonna get a battery.
Just plugging these guys up as we would normal. Oh, we gotta bind it first, right?
Yes.
Right. So should be quick and easy.
In order to set up the receiver, we gotta set up a model on the radio so we can bind it. Duh.
A model for airplanes.
Yes. So we're gonna turn this guy on.
Welcome to opentx.
opentx. Jumper TX will work the same in this one, guys. So if you are running Jumper TX still, you can still use the same setup.
Now, for those who have Taranis, this will work with Taranis.
Yeah, this actually works with QX7 X9D as well. Same thing. Anything that's running OpenTX or Jumper TX, this is the same way to set it up.
All right.
So we're gonna go to Model Select. I'm gonna create a new model. Create a model, and I'm gonna set up a plane.
Now, this one's gonna be a basic 4th channel.
And my plane does have a motor. My throttle. Now, guys, keep in mind whatever you do for the channel mapping here, you need to keep up with that when you set up the actual receiver. So I'm going to do throttle on channel 3. For those of you that are used to Spectrum and all that, you might do it on channel 1, but I'm going to stick with the default 3. If you wanted to change it, you could. You just got to click it and adjust it. So I got channel 3, and then we're going to go. That does have a motor, yeah. And then we're going to go page. Number of ailerons in your model.
We're going to go 1 in this one.
We're going to go 1.
We're going to use a Y cable.
So 1 or 2 with a Y cable. Just keep it easy. Now, if you, and again, if you did have 2, just keep in mind what channel your second one's in. This one case would be channel 5. But since we're 1 with a Y cable, we're just got channel 1. So we got 3 and 1 being used. Does your plane have flaps? Pick the tail configuration and model. It is traditional. So keep in mind, we got ailerons on channel 1. Channel 2 is going to be our elevator. Channel 3 is going to be our throttle. Channel 4 is going to be our rudder. So we're going to go there. And, oh, I guess we can just wait till the end and look at that. Motor channel, aileron channel, elevator, and rudder. And do I need to change something? No, I do not. So I'm going to go yes. All is well, create the plane.
Okay.
And now we got it there. It's model 16. Let me get back in there. We got 16.
So you just set up the jumper radio for an airplane.
I just created the basic template for an airplane.
Yep. Pretty easy, right? All right. So now we need to get a receiver.
So what we need to do is just like other receivers, and Free Sky and Spectrum and all that, there's a bind button. You need to push the bind button in there and then power it up at the same time. And you should have 2 lights on there. You should see a red and a green. Hopefully you guys can pick that up in the video. There's 2 LEDs on it. Once we get that, now this is where the jumper is going to be a little more specific than other radios because we have to make sure we set the proper module. So in this case, I'm running an internal module on my radio. So I'm going to go to the menu, hold model, go into the menu. I'm going to scroll down. Is it? Okay. We're going to go to internal RF. I'm going to change it to multi. Then I'm going to change it to Free Sky, D16, and there's D8, D16. There's multiple there. If you're running PWM, you can run the 8 channel. It's a little faster. If you are running SBUS, you can do just D16, get the full 16 channels. I'm just going to leave it because it doesn't really matter. Okay. And then assign your receiver number if you want to. If you got multiple planes on here already, you can assign your model number, etc. And now that we got the light on, so I'm going to put it a little farther away because I don't like it being right next to it. And then I'm just going to hit bind. And then we should see the LED change color.
Yep, it's flashing.
It's flashing? Alright, so the LED is now flashing. And then I'm just going to stop the bind. Now we need to power cycle.
And that is it.
And that's it.
All right, so we're bound. So now
we're bound.
Time to hook up our servos.
I'm going to unplug the battery here. And if you want to verify that it's bound, you can literally just plug the radio back in.
Telemetry recovered.
And we'll get to that in a second.
So channel 1 was aileron. So we're going to plug that in. So if you are setting up a plane, you're going to plug your aileron in channel 1 based off what we set up in the little wizard thing. Channel 2, which was elevator. So if you got a plane, you're plugging in your elevator servo. Channel 3, which is throttle. So that's your speed control typically. Channel 4 is rudder. And then channel 5 is going to be like retracts or flaps or whatever your accessory is.
Bomb drop.
In this case, we're going to do it as mimic a retract.
Just get to the good stuff.
Going to move all this stuff. And keep in mind, I did nothing but your basic channel mapping or there. But we don't have a channel 5. Traditionally, the whole point of a digital radio is to use expos and dual rates or multiple rates. Let's set that up because there's no point in running 100% everything if you have a fancy radio.
Yeah. Let's see if you remember what I taught you.
Okay, he taught me this once. I didn't go on Google or YouTube or nothing for this one. So we're gonna go to model, and then we're gonna go to our inputs tab.
Correct.
Hey, I remember. Okay, and then we're gonna push and hold on aileron. So we're gonna set up multiple rates on it. Go to edit, and then we are going to assign a switch for the dual rate. So I'm gonna actually, let me start here. This is gonna be my high rate. The expo, I'm gonna do a standard expo on everything. Now, if you get it, and sometimes when you first turn on, it might be on diff or something different. So you're gonna go to the curve and change it to expo.
I run 40% expo, but most people do 30.
I typically set up every plane I have, the first three, the main channels with 30% expo. Gives it a good desensitized control without being too much.
Yeah. So between
now
30
switch.
and 40.
Because it's aileron, I'm gonna set this up on
any switch you flick, it will work with. So
D.
Okay. So you saw when you flicked the switch, D went down.
So I flipped the switch. Now keep in mind, this is the high rate I'm setting. So I want the switch to be up. And it actually knows what position it's in. So switch up, set it, expo 30, weight is 100, aileron's my source.
Okay.
Select, and now I'm gonna go back. Now you see that there? We're gonna hold it, and then we're gonna go to copy. So we're pushing the roller wheel, then we copy it, scroll down once, click here, and then we're gonna edit it.
Now this would be our middle position.
And then I'm gonna, for this video, I usually do like 100, 80, and like 60 kind of thing on my planes, depending on the kind of plane it is.
We'll do 50 so we can see the servo.
Just so you guys can see a drastic change, I'm gonna actually do 75 and 50.
Okay.
75 for my mid rate, and then expo still at 30%. My switch, I need to assign that to the middle position. So that's flicked, and then there, and then go back, and then we need to copy it again. One more time, and then edit, and you guys can see now I'm going to 50. Still got my same expo.
No, you don't need to have a 3 position. You can have
no. You can set up 2 if you want. To where
it could be whatever you need it to be.
Yeah. So there we go. And you can actually see it get the bold and highlight. And actually, let me get this out of the way. You can see 100%, 75%, 50%, and that's rates and expo been adjusted. And you can change the expo. You can make it 35%, 60%, whatever you want to do. That's fully user adjustable. That's not this. You can do whatever you want on that.
Right.
But this is a way of doing it. This is not the only way to do it. This is a way to do it.
But this is the only way. So
yeah.
One last thing we forgot, Will, is the very most important thing.
Failsafe. Okay, so there's 2 different ways to set in failsafe. Actually, there's multiple, but 2 basic ways to set up failsafe. One, after you've bound the receiver and everything, you simply go back to the bind button.
Put your sticks where you want them.
Put the sticks where you want them. So whatever, like if you want it up and to the left or whatever. But typically, I'm gonna say throttle kill is off. I'm gonna be throttle down.
I want my gear down. I had gear.
Yeah.
All right. Or up, whichever you want. But either way.
But
set your sticks where you want them.
Set your sticks and switches, whatever you want. Then you're gonna just push the bind button.
It blinks.
It'll flash twice.
Okay.
Now it's set.
But
that way, if you lose signal,
is there something else you got to do on the radio?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you can just leave it at that, and not have failsafe set, but you may have a warning when you turn on the radio that says failsafe not set. This is how you get rid of that.
Okay.
So we're going to go into model, go to the actual model, scroll up or down until you get to the module, and then after that is failsafe mode. Now, typically it comes like that. So you're going to want to set it to, you can either, here's the thing, you can do hold by holding last known position.
That if you're on full throttle.
Custom where you can set individual ones. No pulses where it just goes inert. Receiver. Yeah. This is the one I'm going to do because that's the easiest to set up.
Yeah.
I can set it where I want. The only other thing I would think of is maybe custom where you have low throttle, maybe a little up elevator. But if you're flying inverted and you lose signal, not going to help you. So you might as well just have the receiver set
cut throttle neutral.
All right, so we're going to set up the retract channel because we've got that 5th servo.
Now, you ready?
All right, so what do I do?
All right. First, exit out, go to the input page.
Exit out, just throw the radio out?
No.
No? Okay. We got the radio.
Hit back or return. Go to
mixer.
Mixer. Go down to channel.
Okay. So I hit page 1 time, went to the next one.
Channel 5, or whatever channel you have it on your receiver.
Which, yes, retract.
So, go to the options, go to your source.
Do I just keep pushing buttons? No. Okay. Source. Yeah.
And then click the button.
What switch do I want?
Yeah, what switch do you want your retracts to be on? I wonder if it work on a slider, but all right. So that's the gear switch. All
right. So I set F as my gear switch.
So you just flipped it. So that says F. Switch to F.
Yep.
And nothing else, right?
I didn't change anything else.
All right. Hit
just exit it.
And then now watch this.
What? Shut the front door.
That's it. There's your retract.
So it's just like a beta flight where you get 0 to 100. Okay. Yeah. All right. Makes a little more sense now. All right.
So now now the really cool thing about this guy, it has that telemetry. So let's do the show match.
So you want, so
telemetry RSSI is going to show you or tell you either visually or audibly your signal strength. So if you fly into this field and you're losing signal, it'll tell you.
Yeah. So basically, you're gonna I'm gonna exit out.
Okay.
We're gonna go to models, and then I'm gonna hold the page button to go to telemetry, which is otherwise you can push the button a bunch of times. But then we're gonna go to discover new sensors. So I'm gonna hit discovery. It's gonna come up. They're gonna be flashing. Then I'm gonna hit stop discovery.
Okay.
And that's gonna give me the display here. Now, but what I can do with that, and just to show you, real quick, I'm gonna hold the telemetry. I'm gonna set up a widget. I'm gonna go to widget, and then I'm just gonna put it in this window here, and I'm gonna put value. And then for my source, now that I discovered the sensors, it's gonna give me an option to find RSSI. Now there's one that's a plus, and there's one that's a minus.
I have no idea what they do.
That's the highest discover red and the lowest red. So it's your min and your max.
Okay, makes sense.
I want active. I want active RSSI, so I'm gonna do that one.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna exit out there, and you'll see it there, and then I close it.
So now
now you can barely read it. So why did I do that without setting up the colors, guys?
But that's a whole another video. All right, well that's great, but if I'm flying my airplane, my head's up in the sky and I can't read my monitor. Back to your menu, page settings. Again, off the cuff, unscripted. Teaching them how to do this. Going over to
I knew how to do the RSSI.
Go over to my last guy. My logical, or what is it called?
Not the telemetry?
Not the let's go back over.
Oh, logic switches?
No, what is it called?
Logical switches?
Nope, one more. Special functions. All right, so click on that one.
All right.
We're gonna do on number 2 or number 1. It's fine.
All right.
All right.
What am I doing?
Click on it. Click on number. Yeah. Okay, go here.
Okay, so I clicked it once and moved over. All right.
Click on the thing. Scroll over.
To what?
We're gonna do I like this switch right here.
Okay.
All right.
So you selected the switch. I didn't have to scroll because when you select the switch, it finds it.
Okay.
All right. So yeah.
So then we're gonna scroll over.
Click it.
Through there. We're gonna say play value.
Play track or play sound.
Value.
Play value. Okay, got it.
Scroll over, and we're gonna find RSSI. So now when I'm flying...
Oh, yeah, I know what you're doing. Okay.
So now when I'm flying, instead of looking down at my radio...
All right, you see, you're making this complicated. I thought the plane was completely different. That's not fair.
But this is a cool feature, though.
Tables are turned. I'm kind of pulling a Basil today, guys.
All right. So exit out of that.
So now...
that 1X means... All right, so now we're flying my airplane.
Yep. 87.
Woohoo! So now if I'm flying around a tree or...
92 dB.
Yeah, so it tells you, and I do live switch because it's a quick little thing, and that's a bonus thing.
Now, you can also have it set alerts when it reads to the warning.
Yeah.
You can
that's a
also
whole other
play it
video.
too.